Hello and thank you for tuning in. We are here to walk through all 250 hits of the SGC4 T206 Thai Cobb Vintage Mega Set Mixture, our biggest break yet, featuring some amazing prizes. And we're going to go through these fast because we have 250 to get through. First off the bat is a trade card from the 1880s graded 2. Very cool card. I like that one a lot. Here we go, home 1. Next up, another 1880s trade card. Hold your base. Another one graded 2, a fly. Very cool early examples. The earliest baseball cards were in 1875, so these are pretty close to that. And some pretty neat cards like are. Here we have a little baby face. Oh, I see, all right. Also graded 1.5. Next, we have a non-sport subject, President William H. Harrison, graded 1.5 as well from the 1880s. Next, we have Yaz and an 8. Very nice Taps of Giants card. To pair with that, we got the Killaboo and a 7.5. Very nice card as well. Next up, we have a few autos. This one is on card of Ferris Fine. 50s player, very cool exhibit card, authenticated by PSA. Next up, if you like really nice, we got 2 of these. They look very similar, apart from the autographs being different sizes. One has the stats back, one does not. Both authenticated by PSA. The card only, though the auto only. The cards are authentic exhibit cards, however. Next up, pretty cool set from 1970 inserts. 2019 Heritage celebrated these as well. Has the mark on the back, but overall not too scratched off. These are kind of tough to come by. Pretty cool card of Hank Aaron. Next up is the physically largest piece of the break. That's the Ted Williams commemorative coin, 1990 out of Cooperstown. Pretty cool autograph. You see there has the coin. You can also see the coin through the back. Pretty neat piece. Very large, very oversized. Has a couple imperfections on the case, but overall in good shape. Now, for the normal size cards, we're going to be walking through these a bit organized, starting with the newest stuff first. On the top here, we have a gorgeous Harmon Killaboo autograph from 1999. That is the newest card in the break for the Hall of Fame auto. It is. Next, another newer auto of Hall of Fame legend Brooks Robinson on card as well. We got a few autos of him coming up. This is a really nice card, graded 9, a John Elway rookie card. Whoever hits this will definitely be happy. This is my first Elway rookie, and I'm glad to be passing it forward to whoever hits it in the break. If you like on-card autos, we got Joe DiMaggio on a 1983 baseball greatest card, I believe, might be 84. Card has some damage, but the auto is pretty nice still, despite being a little faded. Next up, a well-centered Sandy Koufax on-card auto. Not a big name card, but nonetheless, can't beat a centered autograph of Koufax. This is a big card. The Wade Boggs rookie auto, graded 10 by Beckett. Very nice placement of that auto. I like that signature a lot. Hall of Fame rookie autos are very popular. Here's another Brooks Robinson autograph from the same set. We have an Al Kaline autograph. Not the most popular cards, but to have the autograph of these Hall of Famers is pretty cool in my opinion. Speaking of Hall of Fame autographs, we got Tommy Lasorda and the manager card in 1975. Pretty cool autograph there. And next, O.J. Simpson. Not the best card of the break. However, still a Hall of Famer despite his whole I murdered someone thing. Or a couple people. I don't know. I didn't follow the story, but I was young. Anyway, next up, Willie Mays, graded 7 out of 1976. Post-playing years, I believe, but nonetheless, still a cool Willie card. Here we have the batting leaders featuring Rod Carew out of 1976 Topps as well. I think this is the nicest 76 Topps card we have. We have Robin Yount, graded 8. Bob Gibson in the SGC 86, which I think is either 8 or a 7. They retired that while ago, 1975. Topps Mini. Here we go, in 1974, Mike Schmidt, graded 7. Jim Palmer, also graded 7. Brooks Robinson, on-card auto from 1974. Playing years, autos on-cards go for good money. That's a nice card of Brooks Robinson. Her, out of 1974 Topps, Hank Aaron's final playing year, graded 6. This is the combo card, and right behind it, we have the base card of Hank Aaron. They gave him number 1 that year to celebrate his retirement. Graded 4.5, Hank Aaron, 1974 Topps. 73 Topps, Reggie Jackson, Hall of Famer, graded 5.5 in a nice tuxedo hair. Another SGC slab, Carlton Fix, graded 4, Hall of Famer from 1973. That moves us on to 1971-72 hockey. Got a handful of hockey cards in this break, including one nice one we'll show at the end as part of skunk protection. This is a booklet. They did these in baseball as well. I think it's pretty cool. This is a Hall of Fame hockey player, Henry Richard. Pretty neat. Next up, for more hockey, we'll go through the comments of the set fast, because again, there's a lot of cards to go through. Most of the comments are graded high. This one is no exception. Graded 8.5, 1971 Ted Harris. Wed Shock, graded 8. on-card auto of Hall of Famer Pete Maholovic, auto graded 10 for the Canadians. Very cool card. I think that's one of the nicest hockey cards in her as well. Moving on to baseball in 71, the home run leaders featuring Harmon Killebrew and Carl Yaz, graded 8 with a Stein. I think the Stein is right here on the back. There it is. Nonetheless, that card presents really nicely. Relatively sharp boulders. 71 gets really damaged due to the black on the edges. And here is a lovely 1971 Willie McCovey, also in great shape, graded 6. This brings us to 1970 Topps Football. All high-grade examples, I believe. Graded 8. We have Dave Lloyd for the Eagles, Ed Flanagan for the Lions, Norm Snead for the Eagles, Kenny Graham for the Chargers. That has a mark, I believe, on the back. I don't really see it, actually. Nonetheless, Fred Cox for the Vikings. Apologies there. All the slabs are good. And then our biggest 1970s Topps football card is the O.J. Simpson rookie card, graded 5. Again, no comment on his past, but he was quite the player, is my understanding. Too young to watch him. Anyway, coming up next, 1970 Kellogg's, only one of these in her. Hall of Famer Billy Williams for the Cubs. Coming up next, we have a 1970s Topps rookie card of the Dodgers, Zach Johnson and Bill Buckner, graded 6. 1970 O-Pee-Chee, Don Mincher, graded 6. Another hockey card from 1969 O-Pee-Chee. O-Pee-Chee cards are typically more valuable for hockey, since that's where people like hockey. John Ferguson and a 5. Here we are, 69 Topps Football, Joe Namath, graded 7. Hall of Fame legend. That's a sharp card. I really like the orange and the simplicity of the design there. Cool card for whoever hits that. Also 1969 Topps Decals, Willie Mays, graded 7.5. These were not meant to last. These were made to stick to things, and I'm happy this one survived and is in such nice shape. 69 Topps base set, Ernie Banks in a 3. Very nice example, despite being off-centered to the left, of course. And here is a very nice 1969 Topps card of Hank Aaron, graded 7. Gorgeous card. Whoever hits this should be very happy to have a high grade Hank Aaron. Keeping it going with 1969, we got a Clemente and a 4, another nice card. And here we have 1968. Good number of 1968 commons. Again, most of these are grade 8, or I think there might be 1 or 2 lower, but nonetheless, we'll go through these fast. Al Farwawa. Need to make some space for myself. Frank Castro. Hark Taylor in an 8 also. 7.5 of K.C. Cox. This one has a variation with the light white letters. I think Matto has one. Maybe 69 he has the white letters or yellow letters. Next up, Bob Savarine, also an 8. Here's a nicer one. Hank Aaron, Bob Clemente, and Orlando Cepeda, graded for the RBI leaders of 67. That's card number 3 of the set. Sonny Siebert, and an 8 as well. Bob Barton, Steve Whittaker, and a 7. Another 8 of Lou Krause. That gets us through 68 and right on to 1967. Bob Wadgers and an 8. Another nice high grade example. Oops, one is out of a couple are out of order, I guess. Nonetheless, here's another 1968 card featuring Bob Clemente, graded 6. A nice tuxedo, wonderful trio card. Back is quite clean. Won't show the back of all of them. We got to keep it moving. Bill Kelso, graded 8 from 68 as well. Another Grant Jackson, 8. Don Shaw. Hank Aaron is up next in the SGC 2. Very nice looking 2 in my opinion. Looks like there's a slight surface crease down the top there, but overall a very attractive card. Followed by an even nicer Bob Clemente, Roberto Clemente, graded 4, card number 150 of the 1968 set. That brings us to the 1968 Topps Games cards. We got a few of these. First, another Clemente, 5 miscut. Next, a much nicer Willie Mays, graded 5. Gorgeous card. Great guy to hold right now. Wonderful player to collect, along with Hank Aaron here, also in a 5. This is a really fun set, not too expensive, but we got some of the nicer examples in this break right here. Brings us to 1967, Willie Mays, graded 3, wonderfully centered example, wonderful card to hit. Good luck to everyone. And here is the Mantle to go with it, even nicer, and a 4, lovely example of Mickey Mantle from 1967 Topps. Going down to 1966, again, we got some more high-grade example commons here for the filler. These balance out the big hits in the break, which are coming up. The 50s cards are definitely the most valuable, along with the Ty Cobb, of course. 66, grade 8. Another grade 8 of Jim Hannon. Lenny Green, also from 66. And here is a nice Hank Aaron, grade 1 from 1966 Topps. Lovely card, number 500. And an even nicer Clemente, graded 3, number 300, graded by SGC. And you can't end the 1 to 66 without the mantle. Low grade mantles are going up in price. About a year ago, you could find them for 100. That's not the case anymore. 1965 Taps White Receivers is another grade 8 example common. And finally, Harmon Killebrew Taps Transfer, another card that was not made to last. It was made to be stuck to something. And this one got a 5. Pretty cool card. You can see the face better on the back. That brings us to we got a couple more 65s, it looks like. Here is a nice home run leaders card of Killebrew and Mantle, along with Powell. Number 3, graded 3.5. RBI leaders featuring Willie Mays, graded 5. The White Sox White Sox rookies, graded 8. Another rookie card, graded 8 for the Cardinals. Willie Kirkland, graded 8 for 1965. Bob Savarine, saw him before, graded 6. 64, grade 6, Phil Ortega. That's a pretty decent card. Ed Kirkpatrick, graded 8. Tommy Irwin, named after Hank Irwin, I believe, number 454. And number 509, also graded 8, the Red Sox, the Red Sox rookie cards. Getting to some more interesting cards, I promise. Got to get through these all, though. I wanted to show every card of the break. Full transparency here. Mantle's Clutch Home 1 from 1965. Card number 134 of the set, graded 3. These cards are really fun. I don't show the player's likeness well, but nonetheless, I have the big 9 man there. First off, Ernie Banks, 1965 Tops Embossed, grade 5. Ed Matthews, and an even nicer example, grade 6. Willie Mays, and a 6 as well, 1965 Tops Embossed Willie Mays. That brings us to the base 65 cards, or 64 cards, I should say. Dick Phillips, grade 6, followed by the pitching leaders featuring Whitey Ford, grade 5. Hank Irwin, along with Ken Boyer, in this RBI leaders card from 1964 Tops. Here's a nice Yogi and a fresh tuxedo, number 21 of the set, graded 5.5. Ernie Banks, grade 2, Hall of Fame legend. Here's an even nicer card of Willie Mays, grade 2, number 150 of the set. And again, we got a Mantle. This one's much nicer than that last one we saw. Grade 4, 1964 Tops, Mickey Mantle. Good luck to all everyone on hitting that or an even nicer card. We're getting to the nicer ones, I promise. But first, working our way through, we have another Mantle, her grade 6, along with a handful of other recognizable names and a nice tuxedo. 1963 Tops, number 2, batting leaders. Next, we got 1963 Tops, batting leaders for the National League, featuring Hank Irwin and Stan Musial. Roberto Clemente makes an appearance in this 1963 Tops card, grade 6 by Beckett. Buck Blasters. Here's a cool stamps panel. You can find these stamps graded individually, but this one has both Ernie and Bill. Very cool grade 5 example of the stamp from 1962. Bringing on to 1962 Tops base cards, we have a Clemente and a 1. Followed by the home 1 leaders. We actually have 2 copies of this card, graded 6, one by SGC, one by PSI. Willie Mays, Cepeda, and Frank Robinson, very nice cards to include. I think the SGC one is in nicer condition, but the PSI one might sell for more because people buy the grade more than the card sometimes. Anyway, next up, Lou Brock, Hall of Fame rookie card, graded 3, very nice card. Love the example. It feels we're going fast by some of these cards, but we got 250. Juan Marquiel and a 7. Very, very nice Nermant example. Tough set to get Nermant on due to the condition sensitivity of the wood grain. Coming up next, a 1962 stamp, a little bit smaller than the other stamp we saw. Pretty cool example of Willie Mays, grade 4. That brings us to 1961 hockey. And first off, we have Warren Godfrey. Don't know much about him personally, but it is a cool, relatively high-grade example of an early hockey card, 61 Parkhurst. There we are. Coming up next, we have a 1961 new card of a quarterback, Gal Widener. A couple more football cards coming up. Tom Lasso, graded 9, a grade 9 1961 card. I think is pretty neat to have in your collection. Mike Cotton is another one from that same set. Fred Snodgrass, and a grade 7 Nermant example. Not too popular of a set, but recognizable and important name in the hobby. 1961 Al Ciote, grade 7. I think that's our only common 1961 card. And that brings us to a much more interesting Mickey Mantle, slamming 2 homers, grade 5, number 307 of the set. Very nice example and a nice tuxedo. Next, we got Ernie Banks MVP card, number 485, graded 4, followed by his base card, number 350, and a nice 3. Wonderful example of that card as well. Willie Mays MVP card, graded 4, number 482 by PSA, and Willie Mays 1961 Tops, number 150, graded 3, another fine tuxedo. featuring Willie Mays. That brings us to a big old stack in 1960 Topps cards. We got a good number of commons for both 1960 and 1954 Bowman, but nonetheless, they all are graded, and most of them are 6s or better. Good number of 8s as well. Sammy White kicks us off, followed by Billy Odell and a 6, Dick Hall and a 6, Ray Manzant and a 5, Carl Hardy and a 6. A couple more interesting ones here. We got Mickey Mantle and Ken Boyer and a 3.5 and also and a 5. Can't have too many Mantles in the break. I like that 5 especially. Very nice example there. Keeping it moving. Joe Almafatano and a 6. Bob Oldest and a 5. Darrell Spencer and a 7. Barry Chatrone and a 6. Don Notbart and a 6. Johnny Briggs and a 5. And Ted Bousfield. For those of you wanting, there will be a buyback offer for all cards in the break. I will give you custom offers on the nicer cards, but for any common card, including all these 1960s, the offer is going to be a $25 credit back to the site, which is more than some of these Camp 4. I wanted to have the floor a little bit higher than what the cards actually are. That's a grade 4, grade 6, Charlie Maxwell, Ray Webster and a 5, Tom Sturbiant and an 8. Point defect. Here's a nice on-card auto of Ed Bucci. I've been a big fan of on-card autos, which you're about to see with 54 Bowman as well. Here's a nicer one. Norm Cash, graded 2.5. Very nice card. Overshadowed just now because I revealed it, Aaron. Very nice grade 5 example of Hall of Fame legend Hank Aaron from the 1960 Topps set. Followed by Richie Ashburn, another Hall of Famer, graded 3.5. Wed Schoendienst, graded 4, another Hall of Famer. Roger Maris, graded 5. You know he's a Hall of Famer, along with Hoyt Her and a 5.5. And last but certainly not least, Frank Robinson, 1960 Topps, graded 6. That brings us to 1959. First off, we got Willie Mays. I just actually got a really good deal of this on the show, and one thing I really like about this example specifically, if I can avoid knocking my camera over, is the miscut print on the back. You can see the Topps whiting on the top and bottom, as well as a bit of the next card. I really like cards like that. Very cool. Willie Mays from 1959 Topps. 1959 Topps as well. Mickey Mantle slamming his second homer. We have 2 copies of this card as well, a PSI 4 and a SGC 4.5. Look at the difference. SGC is the better grader every time, in my opinion. Nonetheless, 1959 Topps. Mickey Mantle, quite beat up, but again, Mantles are hard to come by for the 50s especially, and this is a surviving example despite the damage to the front and back. Grade 1 Mickey Mantle, number 10. Here's a nice card I got from Nick E. Grade 7. I got a horde of his cards of these. Still working on selling them. Included one in the break. Wasn't going to overload it with Paul Smith, but it is a grade 7. Grade 6, Bill Tuttle. Grade 6, Ray Gnarl. Next up, we got 2 in 1957 Topps Willie Mays cards. Graded 3. They are specified on the checklist who gets what, since they have different cert numbers. Just make it easy that way. Fairly similar condition. But this one is much, much nicer. Grade 6 example of Hank Aaron from the 1957 Topps set. Brings us to 1956 Topps Wendy McCall and the much nicer 1956 Topps Jackie Robinson. Another decent-sized hit of the break. Definitely getting more than you're buying. They're trying to keep this video under 30 minutes. Let's see if we can do it. I think we will. Next, Stan Lapata on-card autograph from 1955 Bowman. Pretty cool card. Followed by a tough to, you don't see these often, a golden stamp, I believe, yep, of Al Walker for the Dodgers, graded 8. These perforated edges with an 8 is not easy to achieve. Next, we got some 55 Topps cards, Billy Odell and a 6. Al Rosen on-card auto and on the 55 Topps card as well. Much more impressive. Hall of Fame auto of Monty Irvin. The card's a little beat, but the auto is nice, and it got a PSA 10. That brings us to the 54 Bowmans. We'll breeze through these real fast. Ted Gray and a 6. Max Sherkart and a 6. I'm actually going to keep them upright. It'll be easier and less noisy. Bob West and a 7. Sal Yavares and a 7. Don Lund and a 6. Sal Magali and a 7. Paul LaPalme and a 6. Murray Dixon and a 7. Wes Restrom and a 6. Jim Dessling and a 6. And finally, Roy McMillan and a 7. That card has a variation as a FYI. Not that many people collect common player variations like crazy people like me sometimes. Anyway, coming up next, we got some more 1954 Bowmans. Ray Catt, Bob Young, Cass Michaels, Steve Gromick. These are all 6s and 7s. If you guys didn't see, Johnny Buka. And now we are on to the 54 Bowman autos. Walt Drupo, on-card auto. Steve Shushuk, on-card auto. I'm going to stop signing that. Ed Fitzgerald. Joe DeMaestri. A lot of these guys are deceased. Morris Martin, Tom Umflett, and Harry Doris. Not to mention Carl Sheeb. All on-card autos in that last stack. I really like on-card autos, as I said. They're not getting, not too many of them are increasing their pop counts these days, from the 50s especially. 54 Topps Hockey, grade 4.5, Nick Mikowski. That might be the earliest hockey card we have. Followed by on-card auto of Mike Sanklock out of 1954 Topps. Next card is a big one. It's the 54 Topps Ernie Banks rookie card, graded 2.5, but OC top to bottom. But hey, Ernie Banks' rookie card, wonderful hit of the break. Good luck to everyone. We'll find out who hits that, hopefully, by the end of the week. Next, the Hank Aaron rookie, grade 2, has this surface issue here, but the centering is really nice. The back is clean. That is a nice Hank Aaron rookie card. Good luck to everyone for the Hank. 53 Topps, we got a Yankee grade 5 Art Schultz. Very nice copy of that card. If you collect 53, you know Yankees don't sell cheap. Here is another Yankee out of 1952 Topps, grade 4, Hank Bauer. Same deal there. Another 52 Topps, grade 5, Stan Wojak. Some 52 Topps autos as well. Joe Prescott for the Cardinals. Willard Marshall for the Braves. Howie Judson for the White Sox. And for the Phillies, Kurt Simon. All on-card autos out of 1952 Topps. We got one more on-card auto of 52 Topps. That's Sam Mealy. And the card below it will not disappoint. That is the Willie Mays authentic altered example. This card is gorgeous. You can see why it got the authentic a little bit with that crease there. And I think it might have been retouched on the corners. Overall, this card presents beautifully. I really like how it measures correctly, fits in the holder well. The back is clean and very legible. But off center, as you can see, if anything, it might have had a little trimming on the bottom, but that card is sharp. This is my very first 1952 Topps Willie Mays. Good luck to everyone. Let's find out who hits that soon. Another Willie Mays out of 1952 Topps, far less desirable than the Topps. Bowman, far less desirable than the Topps, and again, it has that altered grade, but it presents beautifully. 1952 Bowman Willie Mays. Next, we got a few football cards from 1951. First, Topps Magic, grade 6. Another grade Magic card, grade 5, of Bob Steele. And here's a Burke Ross, grade 7. I really like the Burke Ross set. They do a few different sports, including boxing, as well as football and baseball. That brings us to 1950 Bowman. First off, Hall of Famer George Kell, graded 3. Very nice card. Bob Lemon, grade 5. Even nicer condition there. Here is a rookie autograph of Bobby Shantz with 2 different inscriptions, authenticated by Beckett. This card doesn't sell cheap raw, but with the autograph, I think it's really, really neat, and that's a unique copy with the 2 inscriptions. That brings us to one of the break's big hits, the Jackie Robinson 1950 Bowman, number 22 and a 2. Very nice copy of this important card of Jackie Robinson. Good luck to everyone on the Jackie as well. That takes us to our earlier cards. We're getting to the Ty Cobb real quick. We got boxing card here first out of 1948 Leaf. I love the 48 Leaf set for baseball especially. And this card was a really sharp example for a 3 especially, Freddie Steele. 1948 Bowman Johnny Mays' rookie card. Good luck to everyone on that one as well. Followed by Bob Feller, grade 3 out of 48 Bowman as well. Phil Risotto's Leaf rookie, grade 2. Joe DiMaggio is our nicest Leaf card. It's beat up in a marked PSI 1, but again, Joe DiMaggio, 1948 Leaf. Good luck to everyone on this giant card. That brings us to the 1940 Plyball Teddy. Authentic altered has a lot of issues right there, but again, very desirable card. Early card of Ted Williams, tough to find card. Good luck to everyone on the Teddy. Just to compare, we have the 1939. Oh, it's in the set right, but anyway, 1939 Plyball. You can see it looked fairly similar, but fairly different. They didn't revolutionize it a lot. Teddy does have a 39 as well, which is his rookie. Here is an on-card 19 auto on a 1933 Goody of Y. Benj. 33 Goody cards are expensive. On-card autos are not easy to come by. The card is in rough condition, but it is an authentic on-card auto. Another big hit of the break, Babe Ruth, grade 2 out of 1929 Schertzman Cigarettes. I really like that it's both Babe Ruth and a tobacco card. Good luck to everyone on the Babe Ruth. That brings us to our first of many T206 cards. This one is just a grade 1, but it is a Cubby, Jake Beister, and the seeded variation. Moving on next, our lower grade T206 cards. Pretty decent filler if you ask me. Have to include some T206 in a T206 break, right? Jack White, grade 1 with the sweet cap back. Fred Tenney, grade 1.5 with the PMAT 150 back. If you guys want to learn more about the backs, let me know. I can tell you a lot. Foley White and a 1.5, also a PMAT 350. George Tavallo and a 3 marked example. Batting variation, Sweet Capello overprint variation. Essentially, I had one factory number here, shipped it somewhere else, scribbled over that, put it in the factory. Little fun fact of that T206 there. Tim Jordan out of Brooklyn, also a marked example from 1909 due to the being in the series of 150. 1910, Patty Livingstone and a 2. Mickey Doolin, batting variation and a 2, also 1910. Kitty Bransfield, grade 3, has a crease down the middle, but it was so sharp otherwise, I kept it out of 3, 1910. Kitty Jim Digert and a 3, but OC from 1910, Piedmont 350 back. Another Piedmont 350 of Bud Sharp, also graded 3. And then next we got Gus Dorner, grade 3 as well. Good number of mid-grade T206 cards. Next up, we have a tougher back Sovereign. It's just authentic and has a bit of paper loss, as you can see, both on the front and back. But Sovereigns are tougher backs. That is a pretty decent card of Bobby Brine. Next up, a grade 2 example of Danny Murphy batting with the Piedmont 350 back. Sweet Caprol back of Hans Lobert and a tuxedo, grade 2, 1910 Sweet Caprol. This has the Sweet Caprol factory number listed. PSI has included that and not included at different times. Harry Krause pitching, grade at 2.5. Batty Livingstone with the misspelling of his name, graded 2.5 as well. Otto Nibe, grade 3.5. Higher grade examples are Jerry Freeman, grade 4. 4.5 of Jack Berry. And a Tolstoy back, grade 1, due to the holes, of course, but it does have the Tolstoy back. Those are getting tougher to come by as well. And that brings us to the breaks, big hits. First off, we have a Hall of Famer, Clark Griffith with the polar bear back. First polar bear back I believe we pulled or looked at. It is a grade 2 example of the Hall of Fame legend, Clark Griffith. Next, we have Joe Kelly and a 3. Very nice example of this Hall of Famer as well. Next up, these 2 cards are really special to me. Really hard to find grade 7 examples of any T206 card under 1500, and these I got for a good bit less, and I'm including them in the break, passing that value on to you. Wonderful examples of Mike Donlin, both the seating and batting variation. The batting variation comes from the NCAT New York find, a big find of T206 cards back in the day. Both the backs are Sweet Caprol 350s. Wonderful condition cards. Good luck to everyone on those 2. Next, much more desirable, Cy Young Piedmont 150 from 1909. It's altered but presents beautifully. Lovely, lovely card. If it wasn't for that type, I think it could have a chance out of 3. It's altered, of course, but it presents wonderfully. Good luck to everyone on the Cy Young. And that brings us to the breaks. Big hit, the $9,000 plus T206 Ty Cobb bat off shoulder, grade 4. Gorgeous card. Good luck to everyone on this hit. Whoever hits it will be very happy indeed. You can see the back is very nice. 1911. I put the 350 to 460 series on there. I kept expanding the set as the years went on. Produced over a 3-year period. This is one of the most important sets of the hobby, and this is one of the most important cards of the set. And a 4, it is a lovely example. It is my favorite example of the Ty Cobbs. There's 4 different Ty Cobbs. There's this one, the bat on variation, the red portrait, and the green portrait. This one has the most color of any of them, and I love how he's looking off into the future with his bat in hand. But wait, there's more. We have skunk protection prizes, as we do on every break. And in this break, the 3 skunk protection prizes are Hall of Fame rookies. There's a total of 10 prizes. 7 people will be getting a $100 credit if I don't hit big in the break. These other 3 people will get these 3 cards. First, spot 3 will be getting the Frank Robinson Hall of Fame rookie card, graded 3. Spot 2 will get this Yaz rookie auto, graded 10. The auto is. The card is not authenticated, but I promise it is authentic. Having looked at hundreds and hundreds of 1960 Topps cards, we got an on-card Yaz rookie auto, worth getting re-slabbed in my opinion. And finally, the big hit of skunk production is my first Ryan Gretzky rookie card, graded 4.5. Very nice example, first and only I should say, of Gretzky's rookie card. Good luck to everyone on all the cards in the break, and thank you for watching. We kept it just under 30 minutes. Thanks again, everyone. Have a good night.